inspiring comeback, there was just a young boy from the Red Hook houses of Brooklyn with a basketball and a dream. Born in 1984 into a world of struggle, Carmelo's path to greatness began with profound loss. At just 2 years old, cancer took his father, leaving his mother to navigate the challenges of raising a family in one of New York's toughest neighborhoods. When Carmelo was 8, his family moved to Baltimore, seeking safer streets and better opportunities. This decision would transform his life and set him on a collision course with basketball destiny. At Towson Catholic High School, the summer of 1999 brought a physical transformation that changed everything. His body was finally catching up to his raw talent, changing into a 6'5" swingman with game-changing abilities. During his sophomore year, the numbers began telling a story: 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, helping Towson Catholic to a dominant 26-3 record. But his junior year revealed a superstar in the making. Carmelo nearly doubled his production to 23 points and 10 rebounds per game, grabbing local awards and forcing the basketball world to take notice. But stardom never comes without challenges. Despite his undeniable skill, scouts questioned his skinny frame and whether he could handle the physical battles of elite basketball. And like many young talents suddenly thrust into the spotlight, Carmelo sometimes struggled with the distractions of growing fame, missing classes, and facing suspensions that highlighted the difficult balance between extraordinary talent and the discipline required for greatness. But growing up without a father, navigating tough neighborhoods, fighting through doubts, would become his secret weapon through the roller coaster career that awaited him ahead. When Carmelo joined Syracuse University in 2002, he arrived as a talented freshman, but left as a basketball legend. Standing 6 feet and 8 inches, with a scoring touch beyond his years, he quickly became the star of Coach Jim Boeheim's team, showing basketball smarts and scoring ability that changed the entire program. The 2002-2003 season became one of college basketball's greatest stories. In each game, Carmelo showed a rare mix of power, skill, and competitive drive that overwhelmed opponents. His smooth shooting, unstoppable step-back move, and ability to create his own shots made him a nightmare for defenders. When the pressure was high and normal players would fold, Carmelo seemed to play even better. His biggest challenge came in the NCAA championship game against powerful Kansas. With millions watching and everything on the line, Carmelo played brilliantly, leading Syracuse to their first-ever national championship. His amazing tournament play earned him the NCAA Final Four Most Outstanding Player Award, a huge achievement for a freshman in college basketball's most pressure-filled event. NBA scouts who had questioned his ability now rushed to change their assessments. With his draft value rising, Carmelo entered the 2003 NBA draft after just one college season, joining what would become one of the most talented draft classes ever, alongside LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. LeBron was picked first by Cleveland, Darko Milicic second by Detroit, and Carmelo third by Denver. While media attention focused heavily on LeBron, Carmelo was about to prove that the Nuggets had struck gold with their third pick. The Denver team Carmelo joined was at rock bottom with a terrible 17-65 record the previous season, empty seats in the arena, and a losing culture that seemed impossible to fix. But sometimes big changes happen faster than anyone expects. The moment Carmelo stepped onto the court in Denver, everything changed. As a 19-year-old rookie, he immediately became the team's offensive leader, averaging 21 points per game with scoring skills that veteran defenders couldn't handle. The Nuggets improved from 17 wins to 43 in a single season, making the playoffs in the highly competitive Western Conference. This wasn't just rookie success, it was one of the most dramatic turnarounds in NBA history. Most rookies struggle when they first enter the league. Carmelo wasn't like most rookies. He became the first NBA rookie to lead a playoff team in scoring since David Robinson in 1990. While the Nuggets lost to the top-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round, everyone could see that a new basketball star had arrived. His second season showed the growth of a rising superstar as he kept his scoring average while improving his overall game. By December 2004, he reached 2,000 career points faster than almost anyone in league history. Only LeBron James and Kobe Bryant had reached that milestone younger. Year 3 took another step forward as Carmelo's scoring jumped to 26.5 points per game, establishing him as one of the league's best offensive players. But what made defenders so helpless against him? His scoring arsenal kept growing. A step-back jumper that created perfect space, powerful drives to the basket that punished smaller defenders, and an improving three-point shot that made him impossible to guard. The high point of his Denver years came during the 2008-09 season. With veteran point guard Chauncey Billups providing leadership alongside Carmelo's scoring brilliance, the Nuggets became championship contenders. They finished 54-28 and advanced to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 24 years. Though they eventually lost to the Kobe Bryant-led Lakers, who went on to win the championship, Carmelo had lifted the franchise to heights not seen in a generation. By the end of his time in Denver, Carmelo had completely changed the franchise's story. He led the Nuggets to the playoffs every year from 2004 to 2010, with 2 division titles along the way. He had become one of the faces of the entire NBA. But by the 2010 and 11 season, everyone knew Carmelo wanted to leave Denver. With free agency approaching, the Nuggets faced losing their star player for nothing in return. Carmelo's preferred destination was clear: the New York Knicks. In February 2011, days before the trade deadline, Carmelo got his wish when the Nuggets traded him to New York in a huge deal that shook the NBA world. For Carmelo, this wasn't just another team change. It was a homecoming, a chance to become the face of one of basketball's most famous franchises in the brightest spotlight in sports. From the moment he put on the orange and blue, Carmelo felt the huge pressure that comes with being a star in New York. In his first full season with the Knicks, 2011 and 12, he averaged over 22 points per game and led the team back to the playoffs, bringing hope to passionate fans who had faced years of disappointment. But it was the 2012 and 13 season that stands as the highest point of his New York years. That season, Carmelo was unstoppable. He led the entire league in scoring with 28.7 points per game, finished third in MVP voting, and drove the Knicks to a 54-28 record, their best season in over a decade. Under his leadership, New York won the Atlantic Division title and advanced to the second round of the playoffs before losing to the Indiana Pacers. Watching Carmelo during this peak was like watching basketball art at its finest. His footwork, balance, and shooting touch created a scoring machine that defenses simply couldn't stop. On January 24, 2014, he delivered a performance for the ages, scoring a career-high 62 points against the Charlotte Bobcats, setting both a Knicks single-game scoring record and a Madison Square Garden scoring record. On nights like that, he seemed to be playing at a different level, unstoppable from mid-range, devastating in the post, capable of scoring bursts that left even veteran defenders helpless. Yet despite these individual successes, darker times were coming. Following the promising 2012 and 13 season, chaos took over the Knicks organization. The team missed the playoffs for 3 straight years as the franchise went through numerous coaches, executives, and playing styles. Without a stable supporting cast or clear team direction, even Carmelo's amazing talents couldn't overcome the organizational problems. As losses piled up, criticism grew. Questions about his defense became louder, while basketball experts debated whether his scoring-focused style could lead a championship team. Despite signing a 5-year maximum contract with the Knicks in 2014, Carmelo's relationship with the organization gradually fell apart under the heavy weight of constant losing and changing team approaches. By 2017, the relationship between the star and the franchise had run its course. The Knicks were moving toward rebuilding around young center Kristaps Porzingis, while Carmelo, now in his mid-30s, wanted one more chance to compete for a championship before his best years were behind him. Following a difficult final season marked by public criticism from team president Phil Jackson, Carmelo waived his no-trade clause, ending the New York chapter of his career and unknowingly heading toward the most challenging period of his professional life. In September 2017, basketball fans got excited when the Knicks traded Carmelo to the Oklahoma City Thunder. There, he joined MVP Russell Westbrook and All-Star Paul George, creating what looked like a possible championship team. Sports headlines called them a new Big Three that could challenge the Golden State Warriors. Behind all the excitement, though, was a big question. Could 3 stars who were used to being their team's main player work well together? The answer was much harder than fans and experts thought. For the first time in his 14-year career, Carmelo had to become the third option on offense, a huge change that meant he had to play differently than he had his whole career. After years of being the main scorer in Denver and New York, this change to a supporting player was harder than anyone expected. The numbers showed how tough it was. During the 2017 and 18 season with Oklahoma City, Carmelo averaged only 16.2 points per game, the lowest of his career by far. His shooting percentage fell below 41%, and what he did best, isolation scoring and mid-range shots, often didn't fit with the Thunder's offense and how his star teammates played. While Carmelo wasn't playing as well, he still reached career milestones. In November 2017, he passed Allen Iverson on the NBA's all-time scoring list. By January 2018, he became just the 21st player ever to score 25,000 career points. These achievements reminded everyone of his greatness, even though he wasn't playing as well as before. The Thunder had a decent 48-34 record, getting the 4th seed in the Western Conference. But their playoff run ended with disappointment in a first-round loss to the Utah Jazz in 6 games. Carmelo struggled badly in the playoffs, averaging just 11.8 points on 37.5% shooting, looking nothing like the scoring machine who had dominated defenses for years. The business side of basketball quickly affected Carmelo's future. Facing huge luxury tax payments, the Thunder traded Carmelo to the Atlanta Hawks in July 2018. The Hawks didn't want him and bought out his contract days later, making him a free agent again at age 34. The Oklahoma City chapter started Carmelo's fall from basketball stardom. The player once mentioned with LeBron and Kobe now struggled to find his place in a changing NBA, a league now focusing on three-pointers, position flexibility, and defensive switching that didn't match his traditional game. After Atlanta released him, Carmelo signed with the Houston Rockets in August 2018, a team coming off a 65-win season that nearly beat the Golden State Warriors. On paper, this seemed perfect. A championship contender with superstar James Harden, future Hall of Famer Chris Paul, and a system that valued scoring. This should have been Carmelo's fresh start. Instead, what happened was one of the most shocking downfalls of a star player in recent basketball history. The Rockets' experiment lasted just 10 games, 97 minutes of playing time, before the team decided it wasn't working. Carmelo averaged 13.4 points on 40% shooting, while the team started poorly at 4-7. Worse, he became a defensive liability, with opponents targeting him in pick-and-roll plays. After those 10 games, the Rockets announced they were parting ways with Carmelo, though he technically stayed on the roster. Carmelo was in a strange situation, officially still a Rocket but not with the team. Finally, in January 2019, Houston traded him to the Chicago Bulls, who immediately released him. What followed was the lowest point of Carmelo's career, complete basketball exile. The phone stopped ringing. Despite being one of basketball's greatest scorers and a future Hall of Famer, not one team offered him a contract for the rest of the 2018-19 season. For the first time since entering the NBA as a teenager in 2003, Carmelo watched the playoffs from home, a star without a team. Weeks became months. Doubt turned into a harsh reality. During the summer of 2019, Carmelo appeared on TV shows, saying he wanted to keep playing and could still help an NBA team. Videos of his workouts appeared on social media. His trainer talked about his hard work. Yet when the 2019 N20 season started in October, Carmelo remained unsigned, with no team and no jersey. Basketball experts started writing about the end of his career while he still wanted to play. For a 10-time All-Star who had scored over 25,000 points, he faced forced retirement rather than leaving basketball on his own terms. But as November 2019 went on, a chance came from an unexpected place, giving him one last shot at basketball redemption. Portland, seeing his unexpected value, fully guaranteed his contract for the rest of the season in December 2019. A strong vote of confidence for a player many thought was finished. By January 2020, Carmelo had become a reliable third scoring option behind stars Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, providing much-needed scoring and veteran leadership to a team fighting for playoff position. On January 7, 2020, fans saw a glimpse of prime Carmelo when he scored 28 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, and hit the game-winning shot in a 101-99 win over the defending champion Toronto Raptors. It was his 26th career game winner in the final 30 seconds, more than Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dirk Nowitzki, and Dwyane Wade had in their careers. While he wasn't as athletic anymore, his basketball smarts, shooting touch, and clutch ability remained impressively strong. But his greatest comeback moment came when the NBA resumed play in the bubble at Disney World in July 2020 after the COVID-19 pandemic pause. He continued climbing the all-time scoring list, passing legends John Havlicek and Paul Pierce, but also changed his game in ways few thought possible, making catch-and-shoot threes at an amazing 56% rate while playing a supporting role that made the most of his remaining skills. His contributions were key as Portland secured the 8th seed in the Western Conference against tough odds. Though they eventually lost to the champion Lakers in the first round, Carmelo's bubble performance silenced critics who had called him outdated just months earlier. The player once seen as too stubborn to change had reinvented himself. What changed about Carmelo's game during this comeback period? The transformation continued the next season when he re-signed with Portland for 2020 and 21, this time fully accepting a bench role, a big change for someone who once laughed at the idea of coming off the bench. Finding a new purpose as a second-unit scorer, Carmelo averaged 13.4 points while shooting better from three-point range than ever before, showing that even at age 36, he could still help a team win. Beyond the numbers, Carmelo's Portland chapter showed personal growth. The scoring machine who had built his career on being the #1 option had found peace and purpose in a supporting role. After his successful comeback with Portland, Carmelo entered free agency in the summer of 2021, with his legacy secure but one big thing missing: a championship ring. Throughout his 18-year career, Anthony had never reached the NBA Finals, with his deepest playoff run being the 2009 Western Conference Finals with Denver. Interestingly, on August 6, 2021, Carmelo signed with the Los Angeles Lakers, joining his close friend LeBron James. These two basketball stars, drafted just 2 picks apart in that famous 2003 class, would finally play together in pursuit of the championship that had eluded Carmelo his entire career. At 37 years old, Carmelo joined a veteran Lakers team featuring Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis alongside James. His role was clear from the start: provide bench scoring, three-point shooting, and veteran leadership in a locker room with championship hopes. He made his Lakers debut on October 19th, adding 9 points and 4 rebounds. Just 5 days later, he exploded for 28 points against Memphis and moved past Moses Malone into 9th place on the NBA's all-time scoring list. During the early part of the 2021 and 22 season, Carmelo became one of the Lakers' most consistent players, especially at Staples Center, where fans loved him as if he'd been a Laker his whole career. His corner three-point shooting, a skill he had worked hard to develop late in his career, became an important weapon in the Lakers' offense. On January 28, 2022, he reached another milestone, scoring his 28,000th career point, becoming just the 9th player in NBA history to do so. Each of these achievements further secured his place among basketball's greatest scorers. Unfortunately, Anthony's final NBA season didn't have the perfect ending his career deserved. In a season troubled by injuries and inconsistency throughout the team, the Lakers finished with a disappointing 33-49 record, missing the playoffs completely. Despite the team's struggles, Carmelo's individual performance stayed remarkably steady, averaging 13.3 points per game with 37.5% three-point shooting in 69 games. Carmelo played what would become his final NBA game on April 5, 2022, contributing 10 points and 6 rebounds in a loss to Phoenix. Though he didn't officially announce retirement after the season, this game would mark the end of one of basketball's most compelling career journeys. While his Lakers chapter ended without the championship he had long chased, Carmelo's final NBA season completed a remarkable career transformation. The ball-dominant isolation scorer had evolved into a reliable role player. The mid-range shooting specialist had adapted into a three-point threat. The player once questioned for his commitment to team success had become a widely respected veteran leader whose basketball wisdom and professionalism influenced a new generation of stars. After his final NBA game in 2022, Carmelo focused his energy on business ventures, charity work, and family life. Unlike many retired players who stepped away from basketball, he stayed connected to the game through TV appearances, working with young players, and keeping in touch with current NBA stars. His influence kept growing in basketball, even though he wasn't playing anymore. Then in February 2025, the moment basketball fans had been waiting for happened when the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame named Carmelo among the 17 finalists for that year's class. He was listed alongside former teammate Dwight Howard, WNBA star Sue Bird, and NBA standout Marquez Johnson. The announcement got strong support from the entire basketball community. On April 3, 2025, the basketball world heard the news that everyone expected but still celebrated. Carmelo Anthony would be entering the Basketball Hall of Fame, with the official announcement planned for April 5th during the NCAA Men's Final Four in San Antonio, followed by the induction ceremony in September. What made Carmelo's Hall of Fame case so strong? The numbers tell part of the story. 28,289 career points, 9th all-time. A career scoring average of 22.5 points across 1,260 games over 19 seasons, 10 NBA All-Star selections, and 6 All-NBA team honors. These stats put him in the same category as basketball legends like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, and Michael Jordan. But Carmelo's basketball legacy goes far beyond NBA numbers. His Olympic record is unmatched, the most decorated U.S. Olympic male basketball player ever with 3 gold medals, 2008, 2012, and 2016, and 1 bronze, 2004. In international play, his scoring ability and leadership really stood out, earning him respect around the world. Carmelo's impact can be seen throughout basketball at all levels. His signature moves, the effective jab step, the high-release jumper, the smooth post footwork, became examples studied and copied by players from playgrounds to pro courts. His 3-to-the-dome celebration after making 3-pointers became a basketball gesture immediately associated with Melo. Recognizing his huge impact on the game, Anthony was named to the NBA's 75th anniversary team in 2021, officially marking him as one of the 75 greatest players in league history. This honor, given near the end of his playing career, hinted at his future Hall of Fame induction. What makes Carmelo's basketball story different from other superstars? From growing up in Brooklyn to winning at Syracuse, from being an NBA scoring champion to being kicked out of the league, from forgotten player to valued team member, his long journey shows determination, heartbreak, and comeback. Another aspect that makes Carmelo's story different from other sports stories is how much he changed as a person. The young scoring star who joined the NBA in 2003, wanting personal fame, became a basketball elder by 2022. someone who learned to help his team in different ways, guide younger players, and enjoy roles his younger self would have hated. His career shows us that being great isn't just about stats or championships, but about the whole journey, especially how you handle tough times. When Carmelo hit rock bottom in 2019, many thought he was finished. Instead, he wrote a new ending to his story, showing humility and determination that inspired fans and players alike. For younger basketball stars facing career turning points, Carmelo's example shows how to adapt. His famous step-back shot might be taught for years, but his biggest lesson is showing that staying in the game sometimes means painfully changing yourself, being willing to evolve when your old ways stop working. Beyond his 28,289 points, All-Star games, and Olympic gold medals, Carmelo gave basketball fans something rare in today's sports: a real human journey, showing both vulnerability and amazing success. Few players of his level have gone through such extreme career ups and downs, and even fewer have shown the humility and determination to completely reinvent themselves after 15-plus professional seasons. This is the rise, fall, and redemption of Carmelo Anthony. And with this, we reach the end of today's video. Don't forget to watch our other documentaries such as the Bad Boys Pistons and the NBA GOAT on our channel. Until next time, see you soon.